hopefully help you out a little bit better. So let's see what we got here.
That's perfect.
Let me
Thank you very much.
view this in full screen. Okay, so we are doing this for the demonstration here is to show you how to set up the custom fields to be able to go in and build a survey on your web form. And then we're going to tie that survey into, once it's hit submit, certain actions that'll take place. So they'll send them an email. You obviously want to tag them that they've got the proper survey. You want to tell Infusionsoft that they've also are going to receive an opt-in email. If they have not opted in, you want to get them to, because the goal is to get your contacts to be double opted in. That way your communication with them is at the best point possible via email. So again, Infusionsoft logo, when permissions are all turned on, you'll have the admin access, and then you want to be able to go down to settings. And when you go to settings, custom fields, the top right here, contact, hit go. And then you'll develop your tab that you want to create. In this case, it's a MAP PCL survey. Now, we did something similar for the Perfect Customer Lifecycle Survey. We started to outline a web form. So the tab is called, and we can edit it once you create it, but you just hit your drop down, hit tab, hit add, and you'll type the name of the tab and it creates that tab. Then we do header. Header would be setup overview. Did we convey an understanding of your business process? Yes or no? What are your best selling products or services? Text area. So we can poll our clients and find some more particulars about them. Right. And we can adjust these by hitting the up or down arrow where we want these to be displayed back in our Infusionsoft platform. So as you build these, you'll see how you have up to 100 custom fields in Infusionsoft. Combination of dates, text, drop downs. Here's a drop down. What kind of marketing do you like best? Here's a drop down what it looks like. So I put the question up here. I type in radio, print ads, internet, TV, and maybe I should put in there other. Just that quick, I've updated that field there. So that's the extent of kind of being able to do your custom fields. Any questions on that one?
No, that's understood.
Okay. So once I do that, we want to go, okay, let's do this web form. Let's build the web form. Let's see if I have the web form if I set one up yet. I may not have set it up, but if I didn't, I've got quite a bit of web forms here. Let's say you want to be able to have the permission turned on to add. When you do, you'll see this little button over here. See it?
Yes.
Add a web form. Let's say we're going to call this MAP PCL survey. Okay.
Is there a particular reason why you're calling it a MAP PCL?
It's the Marketing Automation Plan Perfect Customer Lifecycle.
Okay.
That's just abbreviated for us because we're building the map. It's what this is all about, kind of mapping out your campaign, and it's for the perfect customer lifecycle. So
okay, I just wasn't sure if it was needed for the language to communicate between Infusionsoft.
Yeah, no, it's just a way when I look at my list of web forms, I know what it's for, and then I could put a description. So if Matt logs in, so we can just put a little thing in there. Well, I could copy an existing web form if I had one similar, but in this case I'm not, so I'm going to create it. So if you have, again, with permissions on, you'll come in. Now you see how it's very similar to what we were just looking at on your screen, except here we're going to go in and we're going to actually edit the web form. And here's where we reply actions, here's our thank you page, and here's where we get our link, HTML, URL. Usually use a URL when we're going to copy and paste it and put it in an email. So we're going to edit this. I want to show you how and you want to be in Firefox when you're doing this. When we created those custom fields, so you might do, drag out a divider like this, and quick paragraph like this, and might say, I said, please let us know how we are doing, and I might make that a little bit bigger font. I might center it, and I might change it to blue. Okay.
Right.
So what we're going to do is bring out an other, and now the other is a series of other fields outside of our typical name, address, phone number, and all that other stuff. When we get down here, these are all the custom fields that we have. So we could create another custom field on the fly if we don't have one, which is kind of nice to do, because you might go, oh, this would be another great question to ask. I don't want to have to log all the way out and go back there again. So we could do it that way. Or we say, let's see, I'm going to go to the questions I had relevant to. I've got so many of them. Oops. So you might ask something like, so we'll just add that custom field. Might ask some of their growth goals. Bring another one out here. So you see how we're doing this, we're grabbing those extra fields.
Great.
And you can, once you get in here, you can adjust this layout of the form. Like if you want to make it a little bit wider, you can just click here, gets the form a little bit wider. Something like that, and go back and create a few more snippets, but you're kind of getting the feel for it. So let's say if I just figured, said, boy, there's a question I didn't think of. Let me just think about it. What question don't I have that I'd like to ask that we've, here we go. Would you So here, would you be interested in our personal services? Well, this could be pretty important, because after our sessions and they click yes, well, there's a way for us to, help out and do some additional details. So it'll be a yes or no, and then I'm going to show advanced options. I'm going to position this field as I'm creating it right now on the spot, and it's going to go under my map. Remember that tab I had?
Yeah.
It's going to go under that tab, and it's going to be right up here, setup overview, or maybe client business detail. I'll put it under there. And just that quickly, I've created that extra field in Infusionsoft, and now it's set up. And we can make it, kind of divide it up a little bit. We can just bringing out the dividers here kind of cleans it up.
Right.
So that's there. Let me just check something. Okay, could make that required. So just that fast, we created a field on the fly, and you can keep going as much as, as many custom fields as you want, up to 100, but you don't want to have a survey that's too big.
No, and I would never do that.
Yeah.
To be concise with your time here, I'd be interested to also add a space at the bottom to where we could say, would you please give us 5 names, or would you please provide us 5 contacts, something of that nature.
Okay, so maybe I would do this. I would bring in that, and it's a good question to ask. Absolutely. So we'll go down here and add that custom field. It'll be I'll say a text area, so it gives them room to type.
would you recommend the videos as my continuing resource for questions and how to?
Yeah, I'll show you too. I mean, and I'll spend a few extra moments here with you, you know, on doing this. But we can jump in and do, you know, generally we do a 15% discount on additional boxes, and can, you know, help you. We want to really jump in and drill down and get some things built for you, and can kind of show you along the way. That might be a good way to do it. So you could say, Doug, look, Chad and these guys really want to get this built. Can you help me? Yeah, it'll take us 2 hours. Okay, and then we can buy extra blocks.
Okay, yeah, I'll mention that to Chad.
All right, so we're going to save that field, and there it is. All right, we'll put that in there and save. All right. Yeah, and I can come back and finish this later because I kind of need to do that anyway. So, all right, so that's where you kind of do your custom fields, and we're doing this in the legacy. So I like to do these type of web forms in the legacy, and then grab the URL, save that URL, and then use it for, you know, maybe even come over to your actions. To what we call action links, or to save, like that's a good link to save and constantly use over and over and over. So anytime you use a website link or any type of link, you want to save it, yeah, and put it into your. Before I jump out of here, let me just save it. So, and then you want to go to your actions. You want to apply the appropriate action. You know, might say apply a tag that filled out. So if we have an Infusionsoft setup, I don't think we have the survey in here yet, so I haven't done that. So let's put create a tag, and I'm going to put this under the Infusionsoft setup category, and it's going to create a tag. So that tells us that they filled out the survey. If we want to look up all our clients that filled out the survey, it'll apply that tag. And I want to send a notification that says alright, and I'll send it to me. There we go. So you've got your action. It's also going to check. You know, I don't have this selected right here to send a double opt-in because most people are already in, but it might not be a bad idea. So I might send them my our Veeco Systems double opt-in, which is right here, and that way, if the system will check if it's only a single opted in, they're also going to get a double opted in. So you want to set up your double opt-in templates as well. But once you get the form for this web form, once you get the URL link, you want to be able to go to your CRM settings. Actually, take that back. I want to save that link. I didn't save it, but I'm going to show you where you'd save it. And I think we did this briefly last week, but go to Infusionsoft. And this is where you save all your website links, and you can put actions behind them. So when you type up an email address, when you type up an email template and you want to put in that website address, you just go to your merge box, click it, and here's where all your custom links are going to be. So you can go right in and double check that. It's called automation links. There we go. So when you go into your automation links, they'll be saved there. So you see how we have one saved here for our mobile web form?
Right.
That's a web form that we created. We went and got the URL for it, and then I created the link. I just click this, and I type in the copy and paste the website link, because I tell it to go to. I'm going to say this is going to be for the MAP PCL survey, and then I'll actually save it here, and you could basically say, you know, click here to view your personal survey. And it'll automatically embed this text with this URL. I have to go and get it. The URL will be behind it. Now, it probably won't let me save it because I don't have the URL in there. Oh, all right. So I can come back and I'll put the URL in there. And then when I do that, I can also assign another task or other actions to it. So I don't have to go in and always do it. Like we typically do this with Facebook. You might put your Facebook fan page link in there, and then when someone clicks it, you can assign an action that says they've clicked your Facebook fan page link. What you're doing, the whole point of doing this is preventing you to having to constantly retype the Facebook long URL in an email address and then hyperlink over it and say, please send it to this thing. And then when they do that, I'd like to know that they clicked it. So you're programming all that ahead of time. Does that make sense?
That is wonderful.
Yeah. So that's what's so nice about these links. So once you have a library links all set up, you'll be able to go right into your templates. And say if you did a template, now these are templates, again, these are templates that are saved, and this is an older one with their old things, but you know, you now got your email body, and you're typing the email, and you go, geez, what's that Facebook link again? Or man, mobile profile update. Oh, you know what? We need that link in here. It's not even here. Love to get their mobile profile. So here I go over to links, and here it is. It's right down there. Mobile profile. Insert it. Boom. Just that quick. It's done. Saved it. Now what normally would take, 10, 15 minutes, you go copy this and paste that and put an action behind it. And it's right there. There it is.
Huh.
That's what's so nice about having your own library of automated links with actions behind them. So
that is nice.
We'll jump out of here. Let's see. Let me just save that real quick. And go into the campaign builder. So in the campaign builder, we have, I'll just take you one, I'll just use this one for now.
Is that also an additional access I'd need, or would that be granted once he goes in to just grant me overall admin permissions?
If he does, he pretty much needs to just go down each thing and hit yes. So you get overall
yes to everything.
Yeah. And then you'll have access to it. You want to be able to add and remove, edit, add and remove.
Yeah.
So yeah, then you'll have campaign. The campaign builder, again, is kind of like the Tyler, the perfect customer life cycle. You start with your traffic and your sources of traffic over on the far left. And then as you lead capture, that's the next thing. So that's what an Infusionsoft goal is, basically a lead capture. It's one way that the individual comes through a web form. And all these icons basically represent the same selection of tasks that you can tell Infusionsoft to do. They just label them differently, so it makes it easier for you to say, all right, well, this one's the landing page that we're using on our Veeco Systems domain, and this is one that we're using on Facebook. So I literally just created this, and what's nice about it, I can create a separate landing page on Facebook and tie it into the same follow-up sequence by just dragging the arrow over and publishing, and it's done. Once it's created, you're going to go so quickly, but it's getting the content started. So what I did here, and what you're going to do is, you may want to do a landing page, right?
Right.
So it gives you all the tools to design. So before I get started on that, I'm going to show you what you'd probably be doing. You're probably saying, all right, I'm going to, say you want to request a newsletter or something. We'll just put that here. It's going to start out black. That means it's not published. It's still in draft mode. And you're going to go to this little purple box, and you want to click it. And you're going to tell this goal to tell Infusionsoft what you want to do with it. I want to build a landing page with it, or I just want a straight web form. You could do it if a link is clicked. I want to be able to reroute out of this sequence into another sequence. That's how you start doing these sequences that cater to what individuals may want. So if you have a goal in front of this sequence, it says I want to make this to be a clickable link. I'll show you that real quick. And you can say other. So say if I had an email in here that had a link that says, tell me more about skateboards, or tell me I would like to know more about surfboards. Well, if they click that link, I may have a follow-up campaign over here that has to do with surfboards. And what this does is it tells it to go into the sequence and look up. First I have to tell it I want it to be a clickable link. Then it's going to go into, once I connect them, it's going to go into this and find emails with clickable links. It's already scanning all those. So here I could say if someone clicks the Facebook link, I want to put them into, if I have a sequence built for the Facebook clients, it talks to them specifically versus these. So you're able to build a sequence now if I wanted to continue this campaign. And if it's in black, it's fine. I can be working on this while all this is running live out on the internet. You follow me?
Yes.
So this is in draft form until we actually get it set up. But now if I have a link, they click, they want to know more about Facebook, I can configure this to go here. If they click the Facebook link, I want to configure this to go to this sequence that has to do with Facebook. So that's just an example of using the creativity of a link going into an email, looking to see how someone clicks it. Based on how they click it, they're going to now be redirected to a follow-up sequence that says, boy, John, I'm glad that you let us know that you like skateboards, because we don't want to market surfboards to you, you know.
Right.
You know, or you like warm country, warm area sports and not cold. You know, I'm a warm kind of person myself. But
yeah,
that's because I live in Arizona and it's 110 out right now, so I gotta like it here.
So I couldn't take that.
Yeah. So when you bring this out, right now I just clicked it was a basic web form, right? It's just set as a basic web form. We could configure it to do essentially what we just did on the legacy side with the survey, but you might want to get a little bit more creative, because here you can actually start to develop a landing page that can be self-hosted and get creative with it. And they set it up with some templates. You have your general border, you have your logo that you bring in, and then you start changing the copy. Here's where you can add in more of your fields. Right here, say I want to. Here, I always like to get more specific lately now with identifying their mobile phone number, and specifically requesting, I might say here, because I want to be able to use the text capability to communicate back with them. And let's say, select. So now it's going to tell them when they put their phone number in there, they're actually going to select it, and it tells Infusionsoft next to that number on phone field 1 that's their mobile number. And then I'll be able to do some creative stuff with setting up into the call loop, and that's another thing I could work with you guys. And if you do you do kind of any kind of text follow up now?
Not currently, but I like that idea myself.
Okay, yeah, it's just such a fascinating way to, not only fascinating, it's neat to be able to do it, but it actually enhances the conversions of people attending a meeting at the last minute. Usually when you go with a text out 3 hours and a text out 15 minutes before an event, they're more apt to show up than if you just send them an email in the morning, because they may not even check their email and they've left to go do an emergency thing real quick. But if they have their phone, they get that text message, oh yeah, I got to get back for that. So it's a real good way to increase the attendees at a meeting. We could probably set all that up with some cool responders in less than an hour. So just, you fill out the form, and I'll send you one of ours so you can actually do it and see what it's like. And it'll just send you one email back. Hey, we just want to thanks Ty for confirming your mobile phone number. We sent a email confirmation to this email address. Check it out. So that way it kind of makes you go back, confirm your email address.
Very cool.
So I'll send that to you.
Thank you.
All right, and then when you're here, you can add some meta tags and keywords and titles. You got a thank you page that you want to configure because that page is basically going to be what they see as soon as they hit submit, unless you have a web address you want to send them to. Kenny and Chad may have a specific thank you page on their website. Same thing with the other web form. You have your settings, where you're going to tell it to notifications. If you don't want to be notified every time it's filled out, you just take out the email address like that. And then here's your code. You're going to be able to copy this and put it right out on the internet or share it on Twitter. Or if you have a webmaster and you want to just email them the HTML code right here, they can embed it on your website on a page. So that's what's nice about creating what we just saw here in Start. Here's what I created and tweaked up for our recent Facebook, and it's about 790 in width. So Facebook now allows us to be able to put this right out on Facebook, and we can advertise and send traffic to it. This is, if you go there now and fill it out, you'll get an email and you'll get a text confirmation that's out there live on the internet. And then when you do that, the system's going to push you right up into our follow-up sequence. And here's where you bring out your sequence back here, which is over here on the sequence. I know I'm going fast, but you'll be able to stop the recording as you need to.
Yep.
And then you click on it and you can rename it. Once you get in there, you can rename it, and you bring out your communications. Here's your email, and here's my tags. I want to apply 2 tags. In this case, we drug out a tag. You just left click and drag it out. And when someone fills that out, it's going to say new prospect, true automation prospect. And then we're going to send this email to them. And there's the email. If not, so if you filled out the Facebook form and you did not put your mobile phone number in because it wasn't mandatory, we may have just sent you this nice little message, and then you say, oh, here's your personal web form, which you can click on and fill it out then. And we're offering a cool tip on LastPass. I think I shared that with you.
Yes.
So I should send this over to you so you can at least give you the Facebook page. You fill it out, and then you can kind of see an example of this follow-up sequence done. And it's that simple. So all we're doing right now is just getting a Facebook lead, hits our landing page, they get tagged with 2 tags, and we send them an email. But what's also taking place is when they fill out that web form, which is, let me just show you here. When you fill out the form on the landing page, it's going to give you a thank you message. And we like to do things right on the thank you page because it's when people are interacting with you pretty quickly. And here's what it says. Thanks for filling out our contact form, your first name. Would you like to confirm we have your details or your profile details correct? If, all right, take them out. Here's click my personal web form. So if you click it, it's automatically going to display your contact stuff, and if not, you can fill it out. And once you do, it'll send you that text message, because this web form here is set up to trigger your text message.
Okay.
But I always say the best thing this whole video that I'm doing is you start going through it in stages and actions. In this particular case, experience it. So if I go to this, what I could do just to save you having to go to our Facebook page, I'll do this. I'll grab the code, I'll copy it, and I'll put it over in the GoToMeeting chat, and then you can click on it, and let's see what happens. And I'll switch over to your screen. I kind of actually like to see what happens because I just set it up like 2 or 3 days ago. It's pretty new.
Great. Yeah, let's try it.
And you've got your cell phone, right?
Yep.
I'll give this a shot. Alright, so that email came to you and it populated the mobile web form, and that also sent the text message to your phone, so that's all good. And you see how we have other links in there, so if you were to click our Facebook link in that email, it will also tag you. So go back to my email and then click on that, hit Veeco Systems. When you click that, you just now got tagged in our system as clicking our Facebook link. And since you're there, you might as well give us a like.
See if it works.
All right. Now see how that, do you work with Facebook at all?
Yeah.
All right, see how we have the little thing below the like button? It says automation. It's just a picture of clouds.
Yeah.
That's the fan page where we have that landing page embedded. So we take the HTML from that landing page, or from Infusionsoft, and we embed it right there. You can click on it, and that's where we drive, you know, through Facebook advertising to that page. That's basically what they call static HTML. You just type in static HTML in your search bar of Facebook. It gives you that little app. You click on it, download it, and you can then bring in HTML and do that kind of cool stuff.
Wonderful.
And then, you know, we do some other stuff with Veeco iGift. That's kind of like a group buying site where we sponsor local schools and they buy, you know, golf certificates, and it benefits the PTO. So we do some other creative things. There's a scan tag. See the scan tag?
Yeah.
You could scan that with your phone. I could be at a big seminar and you scan that, and where's it going to lead? Well, in this case it leads to our, there's where you could, if you click that coaching, yeah, that'll take you to where you guys can get some blocks. So like if you want to get another block, instead of paying another $200, it's $200 a block, but if you get another block, it's a 15% discount on the total. So instead of being
Right.
$400 for 2 blocks, it's $340 or something like that.
Sure.
And that's where we can jump in and start working with you guys, and we'll just, you know, just whatever the hour it is. If you want us to do some actual building and stuff and configure some stuff, you know, to help speed up the process to get you guys ready, there you go. And then you can see me playing the guitar at Rich Dad Poor Dad's event in Vegas. We were supposed to hook up with Chad and those guys there, but I guess they got busy.
Huh. Well,
Yeah,
that's cool. You play guitar.
Yeah, I got to play. It was pretty fun. It was fun. About 1,700 people there, and it was quite an event. And
Oh wow.
you know, it's, you know, Robert Kiyosaki. It was literally the largest real estate investment conference or forum in the country, and yeah, I was pretty honored to be able to play there. The MC said, "Man, if you can play the guitar and do that, it'd be great. Bring it out, man. I'll get you in." So we had fun. Yeah.
How cool. Wonderful. Well, I sure appreciate everything you've done and just recording that video. That'll be a huge help. I'm a marketing guy. I do